Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. So I have two heat map scans here, one on the left and one on the right. On the left was yesterday, and now on the right is today. We've improved by over 50% for page one rankings within this 4 mile radius 11 by 11 grid. But this is really hard to see kind of what the value is of all these dots. So I'm going to quickly explain why these dots are so important to flip, and I'm going to go over some steps of what I've done for my client to help grow their account for HVAC near me just in one day. So the dots that are flipping: Grand Junction, 65,000 people. We went from light green, so right off page one of Google, now to green. We're directly on page one of Google via the map pack. That's going to lead to more high quality impressions, website clicks, phone calls, and bookings for my client. Then we have Clifton. Clifton is another area. That's the second biggest area. We're going from orange to light green. I'm very confident that I'm going to be able to flip this dot for my client for the term HVAC near me. There's some more changes I need to do. And then we have a few other places as well. Redlands, 9,000 people, orange to light green. And then, you can keep going down the list. Orchard Mesa, same thing, orange to light green. But let me demo off TM Blast and use that as the example of what I do for my clients, because maybe this might spark some ideas for what you guys can do. So to start, edit profile. You want to look at your business categories. So the primary category is a huge ranking factor, but look at those secondary categories. You want to play around with them. So maybe you want to add a few more. You might want to actually reduce, but don't get too generic. So I work with a contractor, and I noticed that one of their categories was simply just the word contractor, and that is too broad of a category. Can mean really anything. So you really want to niche down into exactly what you do. For TM Blast, it's a little bit more vague because there's no SEO category, but for your business, make sure that you're going through and adding the appropriate secondary categories. Next, the description over here. Now, I've seen mixed results of how important the description is. In my opinion, I think it does hold a ranking factor. So I like to include nearby towns and cities for my clients. So we're actually targeting those areas a little bit closer within the description. Next, social profiles. It's important to kind of showcase that across the web. Think about NAP, name, address, phone number. You want to have that be consistent across the board. It also can be used as an indirect signal as well for ranking. So again, for my client for HVAC near me, we're really making sure that from the social profiles as well, we're including that. Service area listings. This is not a big ranking factor, but again, you want to make it line up exactly with the map that you're going after. So for the term HVAC near me, I used Microsoft Copilot to look at all the nearby towns and cities that we want to target within the 4 mile radius. I made sure we list them directly in the service areas. And then another thing is just this. This is just really basic, but go to your special hours section over here, click on the pencil. You want to make sure that you're listing off if you are open or closed for special holidays. I see this all the time for something like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, etc. A lot of businesses won't confirm that. We've all probably seen that too, where you might search for like a restaurant and it says business hours may impact if it's open. So then you have to call and they're like, yes, we are open. But because you didn't confirm that, your rankings actually don't improve because Google's unsure. So get ahead of this now and check off if you are or are not open for special hours. It is a light ranking factor. It can really help for the future rankings for your business too. So don't forget about that. Things that also really help. I talk about this a lot. Go to your reviews section over here. So let me find that. It is read reviews right over here. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're responding to reviews. I talk about this all the time with my clients. Now, I don't get a lot of reviews as a digital marketing company, but for my clients who are HVACs, contractors, movers, etc., getting reviews is really important. But you want to make sure that you're responding directly to those reviews. So you want to respond with the keyword. So, for example, for the HVAC, if they said like HVAC installation or HVAC, maintenance or HVAC repair, make sure you use that keyword directly in your response. It is a ranking factor. Obviously, you don't want to keyword stuff it, but don't just say simply like don't just say like thanks or like happy to help. Say something with a little bit more meaning behind it. It will help your rankings. I've seen this constantly with my clients who don't respond to reviews. If you can get in there and respond, or I might even just respond for them, it does help with the rankings. Another thing that does help with the rankings is you have let me go down over here. You have the update section. Now, the update section is I would say a minor ranking signal, but it shows freshness because you're not really changing your description all the time. And if you're not adding photos, it can seem a little stagnant with what's happening on the profile. So create updates like on a weekly basis. What would be really helpful is that if you can show before and after photos, because that can increase engagement. That's actually what my client and I are doing, making sure we're showing the work, making sure we're showing the trust signals for users to potentially then give us a call. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the website. So you really need to make sure that the website is aligned with your strategy. So really basic stuff I'll scrub over here. The title tags I have Saratoga Springs SEO and then hyphen New York SEO expert. Um, you want to make sure that the keywords you're going after are very clear. So if you're linking out to your homepage, you want to make sure that the primary keywords there, like HVAC, for example, simply than just your business name. You also want to make sure your header one tag also reinforces that. So if you're going after HVAC, or if you're going after I don't know, Baltimore moving company. Make sure you put that in the H1. It's really basic, but it's that connection though between your Google business profile and also your website. Last but not least, what I always like to talk about is I really like the site called trustindex.io. It can bring in a lot of different profiles into your website. It helps actually with name, address, phone number because it kind of reiterates that from like let's say if you're on Google reviews or Yelp reviews, etc. But it also has schema markup. So Google and Bing can understand exactly what you provide to your clients, which is important. I like to showcase my YouTube videos. But then you have these reviews on here as well. This is helpful. This is social proof. I've been pushing this with all my clients. People who leave reviews on Google Maps is great, but then embed that directly onto your website. So for again, for my client, showcasing HVAC near me, HVAC services, HVAC contractor, these are all things that are really helping them rank a little bit better for their service. So they're reaching more customers or more potential customers who are searching on Google. But that's really it in a nutshell. I'm going to go back to the Microsoft Copilot part because I think this is the most important thing. Flipping dots is important, obviously, but you can imagine that if I only flip the dots in the very bottom, that 400 people, 500 people, 1,500 people, etc., it's not going to move the needle. But flipping the dot at Grand Junction from light green just off page one to now green page one, 65,000 people, that's what's going to move the needle. And that's what's going to get you more impressions, more website clicks, more phone calls, more qualified leads, and more bookings as well. So, anyway, I hope this video maybe sparks some ideas what you can do for your Google business profile and your website. And you can maybe use Microsoft Copilot as well to get some additional analysis when you run your local Falcon scans. But anyway, thanks for watching this video.